Okay, we're looking at question 8, and it asks, the argument is most vulnerable to criticism on the grounds that. Okay, for all you anti-government people, let's just do it. We'll just party on with this. As a matter of fact, I have bought 1 year's supply of soup, and I'm ready for the world to come to an end, and it's because of things like this the government does. By the way, if you hoard, I guess I'm a hoarder. I got a year's worth of supply of food. The problem is when everybody knows it, when the zombie apocalypse happens, by the way, Walking Dead's coming on in about 45 minutes. I can't wait, okay? I'm going to have to stop teaching at that point. I'm sorry. I don't even know if anybody watches these videos. But, yeah, don't tell anybody that you've got a year's supply worth of soup, because if you do, like, if the end of the world does happen, they're all coming over, man. And I'm so shallow that I really do want the world to come to an end, just so when they come over, I can say I told you so. But anyways, what do we have going on in this argument? Here comes Uncle Sam, man. He just comes out and he demolishes a naval base. It's got a gym, it's got a pool, it's got a recording studio. There is several liquor stores there. There's free parking garages. There's housing. It's just the most amazing thing in the world, and the government just destroys it. Gone. Done. Not in existence. And this dude is saying, of course, the government is legally permitted to use this land how it sees fit. It basically acquiesces to the legality of the situation, but it's clear that using it for the good of the community would benefit everyone. Okay, so this is clear that basically by destroying this, we're not benefiting everybody. It sucks, all right? We've destroyed it. We've destroyed all of this cool stuff here, okay? And so then here's this conclusion, right? We can conclude that the government's actions were not only inefficient, but immoral, okay? So it's kind of a little bit of confusion there, at least for my intellect. But bottom line, what the government has done here, even though they're legally permitted to do so, it's not benefiting the good of the community. It's inefficient and it's immoral to do that. So let's go through the answer choices and see which one makes the most sense, or which one calls into question what's going on here. If we look at E, inappropriately treats two possible courses of actions as if they were the only options. In my mind, I can't really figure out how it does that, but there are only two options here, right? I mean, it's like either you demolish the naval base or not demolish it, and maybe there's even more options, but let's just say there are just two. I don't know if this argument inappropriately does anything with that, okay? So that is not a criticism of this argument, and I don't know that there's only two options. Maybe they could halfway destroy it. Just tear down the gym, because, by the way, working out sucks anyways. Keep the pool. That would be cool. But, that is not a criticism, or that's not a vulnerability of the argument, treating two options. I don't see the option thing going on here. D, presumes without providing justification that any action that is efficient is also moral, okay? Well, I guess it's trying to rip on it for saying, it's inefficient and immoral, and so it's trying to say, it's trying to flip that and say moral and efficient, like it's trying to draw some thing there. That's just not, that should just fall right on out of there. I don't even know how we got to that. I don't even see how that's remotely close to being relevant to a criticism of this argument. Let's look at C, presumes without providing justification that the government never acts in the most efficient manner. Now, where I grew up, there is a this is, I think, if you're over 55 and from Texas, that you actually do this. You take a look at C, read that, that's a Texan. They presume without any justification that the government never acts in the most efficient manner. But here we're not saying that they never act in the most, they never not act in the most efficient manner, right? We're just saying in this particular case it's inefficient. They're not saying they're not saying also, and see, the government always does this. Of course, I want to say that. I'm just 40, but in 20 years, I'm going to advance to that answer choice, and that'll just be me. It won't matter. That'll be a flaw in this argument. Okay, let's look at B. Presumes, without providing justification, that the actual consequences of an action are irrelevant to the action's moral permissibility. Well, excuse me, I think it does think about that, right? Because it says they destroyed it and it's immoral, and it could have benefited everyone. So I don't think it does that at all, and it just leaves us with A. Fails to consider that an action may be morally permissible, even if an alternative course of action is to everyone's advantage. Okay, so yeah, I mean that is kind of the flaw. Like, the government destroys this, right? And we say it doesn't benefit everyone. We don't really know who it benefits, but because it doesn't benefit everybody, we're just saying, look, it's immoral. I mean, gee, I don't know. Maybe the government had built like a whole new housing unit one block over that housed everybody for free, and had to tear this down to build like a shoe shop factory because we were at war we were doing battle without shoes on, so we really needed this factory to be built. That's the problem with this argument. It's kind of like, I think it's like the hardcore Texas argument. It's like, whatever the government does, by God, it sucks. Okay, and that's the problem here. We don't really consider, okay, maybe it doesn't benefit everybody, this decision, right? At least in the community, but maybe it benefits way more than just this. So that is the criticism to this argument. We're not really told what the reason behind the destruction of the naval base is, and what happens there. There might be some serious morality there. Although, being from Texas, I seriously doubt it. Okay.